Hey everyone, just a quick refresher over what we went over in the assistant principals meeting. So really quick, we talked through student browse and that there's a filter in there in the general profile view that has the race and ethnicity breakdown. So again, these views kind of mimic or match the different tabs in student profile, and then there's lots of filters in here that you can use. And filters, really a simple way to think about them is just removing stuff that you don't need to see. So I know I didn't cover this in our meeting, but really quickly you could go to filters, you could add your own filter, and then you can just uncheck stuff. And that's basically what I did to make the race and ethnicity breakdown. You name your filter and it's just yours. But if you want to, you can also, if it's a useful thing, you can also share your filter. And that's what I did with this one here. And you might see it, the name of the filter, and then in parentheses shared afterwards. So again, it's students browse. The view was general profile, and the filter was race and ethnicity breakdown. Other tabs that are super helpful, entry withdrawal tab has entry and withdrawal dates. So of course you can filter on those, like you can set the date to say who entered between here and a certain date and another certain date. So there's lots of other ways that you can use this data that's pretty helpful. There is discipline as well. Okay, so that was the filter. The other area that we talked about was in the discipline, so office discipline and then entry by student. And remember that anywhere where you see entry by student, the data is arranged in a list by the kids. Okay, and just a reminder, the view over here was set on discipline, and then the filters there were the August to September, October 2021. Those are arranging the offenses, the kids that actually had a discipline offense. The most recent date is sorted at the top, so it gives you a quick list of kids that have had offenses for that month. We, of course, can make a filter that is for all of 2021, that kind of thing. So that's helpful. The other thing we talked about was that when you're working with the penalties or the actions, if you have to issue an ISS, in-school suspension, that needs to be done in half-day increments, not hours. And then Jason brought up the fact that you can use the class exclusion action if that's something that you'd rather do. And if you want to use the hour increments, you can do that, and it's not an ISS and it won't cause you that issue of having a half day. Just because, remember, it's not going to tell you that you've made an error or anything like that. It's going to allow you to use the hours for the in-school suspension. It will be an error for me when I go to report to the state, so it forces me to change that in our data and in Skyward. So it will skew your data if you're relying on that and looking at that. It may impact that as well. So just something to think about. I think that was pretty much the gist of the specific things in Skyward that we covered. If you had any questions or want me to cover anything else, let me know. Thanks, guys.